and understand that this so-called African American or the so-called black person with ancestral roots in America is in fact the American Indian. And remember, I use the word Indian because it is the legal term. If I was speaking to another indigenous person, I would refer to my tribe and they would refer to theirs. The American Indian is the indigenous aboriginal of the Americas, the original inhabitants, the Powhatan descendants, Anyanguias, Seminoles, Creeks. You might even hear some people in the indigenous community use the word Native American to describe the indigenous Americans. But when you break down the definition of a native, it completely leaves out the original inhabitants part. A Native American is a person born in America or associated with America by birth. So do you see the difference? A native is one who is born in America or associated with America by birth, and an indigenous aboriginal or an indigenous American is the original inhabitants. Anyways, I won't get into the details behind that particular topic because it's not the point of this video. But I would like to say that we've all been programmed and lied to, all in an effort to believe that the so-called Native American is the original inhabitant of these lands, when in fact, most of their ancestral roots is from Eurasia, Europe, and Asia. Now, some people do use this term because it's a term that's been tossed around and used for a very long time. So I don't want you to think that every person who used that word or refers to themselves as Native is someone bad, but I'm just breaking down the definition of the two. I just like to know the true meaning behind words and use the words based on their true and initial meaning. Most of us, we've been lied to, and most of us American Indians, we were lied to and we were forced to lie. Lie as we take on these misnomers like colored, Negro, mulatto, African American, and now black. And then forced or be by the colonizers to never speak our languages or to practice our culture. Now, this was the case for my family in Virginia, but I'm sure it happened all throughout the 13 colonies and beyond as their reach expanded. And now, from these lies that follow us from generation to generation, we suffer mentally and emotionally. We tend to look at the white man as the bad guy because most of us believe that the colonizers were all white people. Now, the next few talking points are going to make some of you all very uncomfortable, but it needs to be said. Prior to the 1600s, most of